you care, say that
Short. This is a very sad scene. Do you think you're capable of playing sadness?
I can do that.
Her name was Elizabeth Short. She was young and beautiful, determined to be famous, but destined to be infamous. Nothing stays buried forever. Nothing.
Please say that you care, or say that you think that I'm beautiful.
The Black Dahlia Murder. In 1947, the body of Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, was found mutilated and severed in Los Angeles. Her murder remains unsolved, and it became one of the most infamous and puzzling cases in the history of American crime. The victim, Elizabeth Short, earned the nickname Black Dahlia posthumously due to her dark hair, penchant for wearing black clothing, and Dahlia being a reference to the film The Blue Dahlia. The murder took place in Los Angeles in January 1947 and captivated the public's attention, leading to extensive media coverage and a massive investigation. Here are some key facts about the case. The identity of the killer. One of the most significant mysteries of the case is the identity of the killer. The Black Dahlia murder investigation generated numerous suspects, but the first and main suspect in the case was a man named Robert "Red" Manley. He was an acquaintance of Elizabeth Short and became a person of interest early in the investigation. Robert Manley was a 25-year-old married salesman who had met Elizabeth Short at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, where she had been staying in the days leading up to her death. They had reportedly spent time together, and he was one of the last people known to have seen her alive. On January 15, 1947, the morning Elizabeth Short's body was discovered, Robert Manley was located in San Francisco. He was initially questioned and investigated by the police due to his association with the victim, but he was eventually cleared as a suspect. There was no evidence linking him to the crime, and he cooperated fully with the authorities. Following the clearing of Robert Manley, the investigation moved on to explore other leads and suspects. Over the years, the police and amateur investigators have pursued numerous other individuals as potential suspects, but no one has been definitively linked to the murder. Even her father was accused at some point, or an owner of a chain theater and famous nightclub that, according rumors, he was obsessed with Elizabeth. But none of them were found guilty due to the lack of concrete evidence. According to investigation, there were more than 190 suspects without any proof and arrests. In 1999, homicide detective Steve Hodel studied the case intensely and came to the conclusion that his own father, George Hill Hodel, one of the main suspects back then, had been the real killer of Elizabeth Short. Hodel came to police attention as a suspect in the Elizabeth Short murder in 1949 after the sexual abuse trial. Known or suspected sex criminals in the area were being investigated for the Short case, and it had come out in that trial that Tamar had allegedly claimed her father was the Dahlia killer. Hodel's medical degree also aroused suspicion, given the hypothesis that whoever bisected Short's body had some degree of surgical skill. At least 8 witnesses claimed first-hand knowledge of a 1946 relationship between Short and Hodel, then back in Los Angeles from China. The full details of the investigation came to light only in 2003, when a George Hodel Black Dahlia file was discovered in archives at the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. The file revealed that in 1950, Hodel was a suspect in the Dahlia murder. His Hollywood residence was electronically bugged by an 18-man DA-LAPD task force between February 15th and March 27th, 1950. The DA tapes recorded him saying,
"Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they can't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. They thought there was something fishy. Anyway, now they may have figured it out. Killed her. Maybe I did kill my secretary."
Despite all these points, he was never formally charged with this crime. However, one of the most significant mysteries of the case is the identity of the killer, and the true identity of the person responsible for Elizabeth Short's brutal murder remains unknown. The gruesome crime scene. The crime scene itself was meticulously staged, with the killer going to great lengths to pose Elizabeth Short's body in a symbolic and gruesome manner. The precision and level of detail in the crime scene have raised questions about the killer's motives and possible knowledge of forensic procedures. Also, the Black Dahlia murder has sparked various theories and speculations over the years, some of which suggest possible symbolic elements connected to the crime. Here are some of the symbolic elements that have been proposed by researchers and theorists. Occult symbolism. Some theories suggest that the murder may have been connected to occult practices or rituals due to the precision and brutality of the crime scene. The mutilation of Elizabeth Short's body has been interpreted by some as having potential occult significance, but no concrete evidence links the murder to any occult activities. Artistic expression. Some researchers have explored the possibility that the killer saw the murder as a form of artistic expression. The carefully posed body and the attention to detail in the crime scene have led to speculation about the murderer's potential artistic motivations. The dahlia flower. The name Black Dahlia itself has led to theories that the killer chose this nickname intentionally to associate the crime with the dahlia flower. The dahlia flower can symbolize diverse meanings, including betrayal, inner strength, and elegance. Some theorists have explored potential connections between these symbolic meanings and the crime, but without conclusive evidence. Zodiac signs and numerology. There have been far-fetched theories suggesting connections between the Black Dahlia murder and zodiac signs or numerology. Some theorists have tried to find patterns or hidden messages in dates, locations, or other elements of the case, but such connections lack credible evidence. The infamous letters. During the investigation, the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, received several letters and packages claiming to be from the killer. Some of these letters contained personal items belonging to Elizabeth Short and provided details about the crime. 9 days after finding her body, a man claiming to be her killer contacted a newspaper by sending a package of Elizabeth Short's documents and belongings. Everything was covered by gasoline, so any traceable fingerprints were not found. The sender used horrifying cuts from magazines and newspapers to write the letter. He called himself the Black Dahlia Avenger. But the authenticity of these letters and the identity of the sender have never been definitively confirmed. And finally, the sad truth is, we'll probably never really know who killed the Black Dahlia or why. It's a mystery. The murderer has never been found, and given how much time has passed, probably never will be. The legend grows.